What is up, guys? This is Lintheo coming at you with a Nationals tournament report. So, if you didn't already know, or now you can plainly see, I decided to bring Skull Servant because I just wanted to have a bit of a laugh this Nationals. I didn't go to the previous one because I was in Canada, and the previous one to that I brought Hunders, and it seems to be that I bring kind of like rogue decks and just have a little bit of fun. And the whole point of going to Nationals for me was to see so many people that I actually hadn't seen in ages, and also see my subscribers who wanted cards signed and different things like that. So before I start and get into it, just a bit of note that I couldn't do any recording in the venue at all. This was due to kind of policy and security policies regarding the actual venue, because it was a college and, you know, everything like this. So there was actually no event coverage done. There was no stream. There was no written, which was a real shame, an absolute real shame, I thought. And I wasn't able to really do any vlogs either. I mean, I did vlogs walking back and forth from the venue and in the hotel, but I don't really see the point in putting them up because it's kind of just half a video, not even half a video. So I'll just talk about my matchups in here, and a lot of people kind of wanted to see this. So without further ado, we'll go into it, and you can see how the deck ran. So I basically went X4 after 9 rounds, I think it was. I wasn't really too bothered at the end. I was just more having a bit of fun and doing some really crazy plays that I normally wouldn't, just to see how it went and kind of pushing the limits of the deck a bit. So we shall go into it. It's 40 cards for the main deck. So 3 King of Skull Servant. This is your main beater, and so many people get so confused over this card and think they're safe behind their Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. A lot of people sided in the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and it basically didn't help them one little bit. Unless they got it basically like first turn, early game, it really doesn't help them all that much, because you summon the King of Skull Servant and he's on the full attack in your grave, because it's, you know, it's not an effect that activates. So King of Skull Servant was really great. The highest I got him up to was 10,000 attack, which I attacked directly for game, and the guy was on 8k. I was just like, boo! So that was pretty good. So King of Skull Servant, it was absolutely amazing. Summon it all day long. I got him out every single duel, and it's just not difficult. Lady of the White, this is one of the greatest ones in here. The different things that you can confuse people over if they don't read over the effect, like you don't have to tell them what it does. It's just special summon it off Wrightmare or anything like that. And the amount of times I attacked and they would activate a battle trap, and I'd just be like, so it's just so good. Lady of the White really helps, and the 2/2 defense is actually amazing. I held down the Klee player a little bit, just because he couldn't get over the 2/2, which was quite amusing, and Satellan Knights couldn't get over it when I had Light Imprisoning Mirror out, and so on and so forth. So it's actually a really nice store card as well. If you can build your side deck around it, it's quite nice. Just considering, you know, that you might be taking out some combo pieces, and if you are, then it just means that, you know, it might be a little bit difficult considering. But yeah, Lady of the White was absolutely amazing. I wouldn't change it at all. And that's another thing. I'll go through and say what I changed. I wouldn't obviously change this at all. Wrightmare, I actually didn't see him as much as I thought I might. However, every time I did see him, he was really useful. It just meant that I could go into those different plays. I had options with different plays that I had and the card choices that I had in hand. For example, if I opened up a Allure of Darkness and a King, I would quite happily banish the King if I had this in hand, because I could just discard and bring him back when I felt confident enough to actually bring out my big beat stick. So it's a shame I didn't actually see enough of these. I think I only maybe saw it probably about 5 times over the whole day, which again was a real shame because it would have helped me a lot. But nevertheless, Wrightmare, wouldn't change it at 3 because it's just so good. So, sorry for hitting the camera. We have 2 White Prints and 2... I said Wrightmare, didn't I? Yeah. 2 White Prints and 2 Skull Servants. So this is just the ratio that I'm happy with, and I actually wouldn't change it. After being in the big tournament, in 2 games, I drew both of these first turn, and you know, normally they're like an automatic loss. I actually won those games, and I'm not entirely sure how I did win them. The first one was against a Tellarknight player, and he also, what basically ended up happening was I drew these and like kind of 2 Mizukis and not really much at all, and a Fiendish Chain I think it was. And he eventually just kept drawing back row, which was really helpful for me. He didn't see any monsters up until a little bit later on, and at that point I had loads of set cards, and it wasn't really worth going for any Xyz or anything like that because it wasn't really generating any advantage in the situation I was in. and I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna set. And with the Mizuki, I was poking a little bit, but then he cleared my whole field, and I ended up drawing into like a Mathematician, I think it was, a Mathematician's effect, and it just went beautifully. So I eventually managed to bait out a lot of stuff, and that was a really interesting long game. Really good fun, that one. And I said to him at the start, it was game 3, I was like, you're going to win this. I was like, let's play it out, but you're going to win this. And I just don't understand how I won it still. But nevertheless, White Prince, I'd keep it at the 2 and 2, because that's basically how it works. Uni-Zombie, one of the best cards in the deck. Every time I saw him, it was just incredible. You want to open up either this, a Foolish, or a Mathematician first turn. And if you open it any more, it's just a plus. Simply because it's just so bloody good. Ditching your Mizukis and ditching your White Princes to be able to get off the effects. Occasionally ditching a Lady in the White for a Mizuki to bring back, so then I could summon out from deck School Servant. You know, there were loads of different plays with this, and also the tuner plays. It was incredible because you could build around the deck. Build around your combos just with this one card. Level modulation as well on your opponent's monsters. I did it on one of my opponent's Eternal Knights, and it was basically a dead one as well, which is quite funny. And just in general, it was really good. Being able to summon out, like, there was one play that I did where I basically had a Mizuki engrave, and so I uni-zombied, sent Mizuki, made him level 4, banished the Mizuki to bring back Lady in the White, and then I went into Black Rose, popped the whole field, and then summoned King School Servant from deck on 3k. So there's a lot of different plays you can do. It's really, really good, and it's just absolutely incredible cards. A lot of people, when they saw this, they were like, okay, fine, yeah, effect, yeah, that's fine. And then when I milled through, they were like, whoa, wait, what? What have you just done? So, you know, this card, again, at 3 will never change because it's just so bloody good. And another one that's really good is Mathematician. This kind of, I should gotta stop hitting the camera. This guy was just, again, phenomenal all day. Mainly because it was baiting out a lot of traps. And the reason I say that is because people don't want you to get that draw. Now, I feel that draw isn't vitally important, and it can be missed. So that's why I didn't worry too much, because it just meant that it will pave the way for Uni-Zombie. So if I opened up Mathematician and Uni-Zombie first turn, I would always go for the Mathematician, because Uni-Zombie allows me to make different plays further on in the duel. A Mathematician just means that if they do destroy it, it means I do get that draw straight away, whereas it's not going to be as useful a little bit later on, where its only function is to ditch to grave, whereas Uni-Zombie has multiple functions because it's a tuner and it can activate its effect twice. So Mathematician was a great one, and you know, I saw him all day long, same with Uni-Zombie, so it was really, really good. Then we have one of the cards that was just brutal. 3 Mizuki. This card is just incredible. I will never, 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 never take it down from 3. Sole reason because it was just so good. It got me out of so many tight situations, including when I was under Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So many people forgot this is an Earth and not a Dark, so I could banish with Mizuki and bring out my School Servant and King of School Servant or my Lady in the White, anything like that. It's just so good, and I'm so happy with how he ran. I was really impressed, and yeah, just because of that, I'll never take him down. And sometimes the 1/7 was actually pretty useful. Then I had 1 Zombie Master. I cut it down to 1 because I originally had 2, and I'm quite an advocate for having the 2 and 3 of Mizuki and Zombie Master and Mizuki respectively. And I actually cut it down to 1 because I wanted to fit a couple more tech choices in the traps. And he was alright. As a one-off, I didn't see him all that much. I saw him once, and it was simply for a Void Ogre play, which wasn't too bad, which was quite nice. But in all fairness, you could cut him if you really wanted. I found myself siding him out a little bit just to make space for some extra side deck cards. And while he's an amazing card, and you can use him with White Prince, and you can use loads of different shenanigans, it just didn't really work out the way I was expecting it to. And maybe that's just because I only had 1 and I didn't see him enough. And maybe if I saw him enough, I might have more plays. But I just, at the time, I didn't feel like it was worthy to actually bump up in multiple quantities. If I had more level 4 zombies and such, then maybe. So going on to the spells, we had 2 Pot of Duality. I cut down from 3 just because I simply needed space. I had so much issues with space, it was unbelievable. And I'll go through and talk about them in a little minute. But Pot of Duality was absolutely amazing. Arguably, you could bump it back up to 3 just for the consistency of first turns. Dark Hole, 2 Dark Hole. This was simply here for the Djinn locks and everything like that. Any horrible monsters that we don't want. And it's also just because I could push through for game really easily because I could summon out, King of Skull Servant from deck. And if you had Lady in the White, you could just Dark Hole and it wouldn't actually hurt anyone. Hurt me. So yeah, it's pretty good. Lord of Darkness, incredible card. Don't really need to say much about it. We'll keep it in. MVP of the day was a Burial. Shout out to Chad Lloyd for getting me this DT Super one. It looks absolutely incredible. I love it. And in true style, it was just ridiculous. I think I ripped it off the top deck 3 times throughout the day for me to win. It was just brutal. Being able to put back all my Mizukis was just so good. And if this ever goes up, it's incredible. I say play this at the maximum as much as you can on each format and each ban list. One Raigeki, again, just the simple thing of being able to destroy monsters and all that stuff. And then the one Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is just great. It's your Uni-Zombie or Mathematician, but you don't have to use your normal summon. So going on to the traps, we have 3 Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain was really good. Fiendish Chain I think is one of the best traps currently, for stopping effects and such. I prefer over Breakthrough Skill in this build, so yeah, Fiendish Chain was really good. Wouldn't cut it down at all. I did side it out a few times. Well, a few times maybe, depending on what I was against, like Cleaforts and such. Just because I had a lot more sideboard stuff for them. 2 Mistake, card put in work all day. It doesn't affect me at all apart from the Pot of Dualities, and I'd much rather have a Mistake on board, locking down my opponent, than having, a search with Pot of Duality. So Mistakes are amazing. I had another one in the side, which you'll see in a little bit. But yeah, Mistake was just incredible. I don't really need to say much about it, and I'd keep it in format depending. Then we have the One Eradicator. This is great. This card was just really fun. Didn't really use it all that much, but it's nice to have it there just in case. And I did hit I can't remember who it was, but I hit someone for like 4 magics at some point, which was really nice. So yeah, that was good. 1 Torrential Tribute. This is here because I get to plus off this effect as well, and it's just in general good. The 1 Vanities. Vanities is really nice. You can see I upgraded a couple of things just because they were nice. I do like this deck. That's why. Vanities just helped. Against the Ritual Beast player, I made him go neg because he was doing his tag in, tag out combo, and I stopped him mid-tag, and it was all really nice, so that was fun. And then finally the one of, which was Skill Prisoner. Now, Skill Prisoner, in theory, was here to stop the monster effects that were going off. And I was trying it out at a 1, and it worked out pretty well, to be honest. But I don't know about 1. I think I need more. And if I kind of think about it, I might instead, if I'm really scared of effects, I might actually prefer to put in Effect Veiler, and then maybe I can make way for BLS as well for just super sackiness. The reason behind Skill Prisoner was simply because I use it in my Yang Zings as well, and I'm really big advocate for this card, being able to use it in Grave as well. So it draws in to be an MST target for when it's set, which is always really nice because a lot of the traps that I have are really important for the deck and really important just in general. So Skill Prisoner did its job. I got its effect off a couple of times, and it was really nice. So I was happy with it overall, but I might look at in general monster negation as opposed to this card itself. So that is the main deck. So we'll go into the extra deck. We had 2 Void Ogre Dragon. Void Ogre Dragon was a last minute choice with the second copy. If I'm completely honest, the extra deck and the side deck are a bit of a mess, and there's so much that I would change. Because basically when I was writing out my deck list, I wrote all my main deck out. And this is when I was testing as well against my friends, against Shadows. I went undefeated against him, unfortunately for him. And I didn't really go into my extra deck apart from Void Ogre Dragon. And in the day, I went into 2 Void Ogre Dragons in a duel, like 2 times maybe. So really like it. It would definitely stay at 2 for me, just because it was a really nice choice. Beals summoned it once against a hero player. There was a time when I should have summoned it instead of Void Ogre Dragon, I think. I can't remember what it was. But nevertheless, Beals is just here because it's good. I wouldn't actually take it out, to be honest. Black Rose Dragon, great card. I used it twice in the day, and it went off once successfully because the guy had warning, but he opened up broke. Clearing Dragon, this was just for shadows, but I actually didn't really see any of them on the actual day. In testing, it was great, but yeah. Vulcan summoned it twice. One to bounce back a Destiny, Destiny End Dragon, or Dragoon, which the guy wasn't happy about. And I can't remember what the other one is. I think I bounced one of my Fiendish Chains or something like that. But Vulcan's alright. Just for those situations, being able to get over really annoying monsters to bounce things, I would actually keep him in. Armades, really nice card. Just in general, it was just useful. Dark Lord didn't summon him once, because you'll see in my side deck that I have the mass change in there. But just in general, I keep him in there if I do play the mass change. The one next to Knight didn't summon at all. Lava Chain didn't summon. Dino Magician did summon, which was nice. Dweller didn't summon. Rhapsody didn't summon. Levier and Dolan I did summon. So these are the ones that I only summoned. These can go away. As you can see, you might be questioning why I have so many rank 4s. And I agree with you. That's because I forgot about them. Because I forgot about when I was writing my deck list out. I eventually just couldn't be bothered to substitute things in my sideboard. Sorry, in my extra deck. And also my sideboard, and I was just like, it was a really tiring day, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to roll with it and see how it goes. As I said, it was just a bit of a fun day. But yeah, these three, really put in work. Great card. You know, you can just do so many plays. With Levier, you can do the standard plays of, you can summon the King of Skull Servant, and then Levier, get back White Prince and overlay if you want, and then do it again, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of plays you can do with it. So yeah, really happy with how they worked out. But things that I would change, I would take out Rhapsody and Abyss Dweller, and instead I would put in more synchro. So maybe I'll put in a higher level synchro, like a like a Star Eater or a Leo, because in the day I found that I could go into higher levels. Someone's creature swapped me their Malicious, and I was like, I can't use you because the only tuner I have in deck is level 3, and that means it's level 9. So if I had like a Leo or a Star Eater, I could have used it really well and kind of turboed that duel much quicker than it ended. I still won it nevertheless, but still. So there's a couple of things that I would change, and in the next deck profile of Skull Servants, you will see. So the sideboard, we have 2 Flying Sea. What I will say is, when I handed in my deck list, I wasn't really thinking about my side deck. I was just actively writing it down. And I know this sounds like in before excuses, but I was with my friend and we were really hungry and we just wanted to actually go and get some food. So I handed it in, went back to my hotel room, and then realised I was like, oh, I didn't put any Lancia in. Oh wait, I brought a whole binder of side deck cards. Whoops. So this is just the side deck that I built ages ago and I just rolled with it. So things that I would change: Flying Sea, possibly depending on the meta, but it worked really well and I did actually summon it out a few times. Mass change, only sided it in once because I didn't really see any decks, unfortunately. I was against a lot of rogue. 3 MST, I put it in the side, considering putting it in the main, but it's all format depending, or meta depending. So even if they aren't in the main, I would keep them in the side. 1 crush card. Oh my dear, this crush card. I only sided in once, but it brutalized a Quilloff player. So basically, he went first. I won the first game against Quilloff player. 2-0'd him. He went first. He did the usual scout, search, sacrifice helix, and set card. I drew MST, crush card, and a couple of other things, including a Skull Servant. So I just set the MST, the crush card, and the Skull Servant. Now I was like, please not MST, please not MST, please not MST, and he didn't. So he drew for turn. He went scout. I was like, that is fine. When he added, I flipped over crush card and I hit him for disc, stealth, helix, and carry in hand, and obviously the carrier or the stealth on board. Sorry, carrier or helix on board, whichever one it was. But oh, he was that was brutal. That was the most brutal thing I did all day, and I do have a picture of that, which was just very, very funny. He took it pretty well, to be fair. He was a subscriber as well, so shout out to him. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Crush card just went in for that. It's absolutely crazy. Then DDV, I said it in once but didn't see it. This is just more for like rogue matchups, but I think I'd take it out for the sideboard if I'm completely honest. I wouldn't take out Crush card just because it can be useful against certain decks. But yeah, DDV just didn't really work as I wanted it to. The third mistake, again, meta depending. Use it. Oh my god, sorry. It's a new setup. I'm getting used to it. The 2 anti-spell fragrance card. You know, I actually only played 1 Necros all day, which was really irritating because I wanted to play more of them because I wasn't really bothered by how they ran. So I only saw 1, and anti-spell fragrance worked first turn, but unfortunately he turboed me the next round because I didn't have a good hand. Light Prisoner Mirror worked wonders. I was against the Satel Knight player. I won. And I basically had mistake this and Fiendish out with Lady in the White in defense, and he just couldn't get over anything. So that was really nice. Lion Prisoner Mirror is just great. Again, meta depending, play it. And then finally, the 2 Royal Decree. This was used against only 1 deck. That was Ritual Beast, just because he had some annoying, destruction cards that I didn't like. So I wanted to be able to Royal Decree them. And it went in against other decks like Satel Knights and such. But it didn't really work as well as I wanted to because I didn't really see it. And I know you might say it might conflict with some of these, but the whole point is that I found myself a lot of the time, if I wanted to side in, a lot of these, I wouldn't put in the Royal Decrees. I'd just straight away put in 3 MSTs instead, simply because it just meant that I wouldn't be able to conflict with my own traps. But Royal Decree is great anyway. I will still keep it in here, simply because it means that I can make plays safely, and I could possibly bait out anything that my opponent has. So that is it, guys. That is the deck profile. That is the tournament report. Overall, really happy with how it went. A lot of people who I duelled were ultimately confused when I summoned the Mathematician, and they were like, "Oh, I'm playing Shadows." And then I proceeded to mill White Prince and then mill 2 others. So that was a lot of fun. Overall, really happy with how the deck ran. I was actually a little bit surprised at how well it ran. And I'm a great advocate for this deck, and I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun, and it can catch a lot of people off guard. And that's what it did. It really caught people off guard. So my matchups were Chainbeat round 1, but he opened up D-Fissure, and that was basically me done. Round 2 was random.deck that I crushed. Round 3 was something that I can't remember. Round 4 was Satellarknights. Round 5 was that I beat. Round 5 was Cleforts that I beat. Round 6 was Madolch that I lost to because he had all of the outs ever, which was pretty impressive. Then round 7, I can't remember, but I won. And then round 8 and 9 just were kind of like the last round was funny because I played against a subscriber who was playing Heroes, and that was a hilarious duel. It lasted the whole 40 minutes, and it was just loads of fun. But that was the whole point. I really just wanted to have fun this weekend, and I know a lot of people might say, well, if you don't go, what if you're not going to go to win, why do you go? Well, I go because I want to relax with my friends. I haven't seen loads of the judges in ages that I'm really good friends with. All my subscribers are wanting to be able to, give back to the community a little bit, sign those cards or those mats or anything like that people wanted. And just in general, it was a lot of fun. So I'm going to stop rambling now. That is the deck profile. In about 3 to 4 weeks' time, I'll probably have a new one up after some testing so you can see how the new version runs. And that is it. So hope you did enjoy the deck profile. Let me know down in the comment section below if you played against me, or if you have any suggestions for the deck. It'd be really grateful. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.